Hello.
Everybody's in.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for
Peace and
being
blessing,
here.
family.
Peace. As all of you come in, I'm just thinking of all these little hip hop songs, ways I can greet you. I'm like, hello, good morning, Kanye West. Hey, how you doing? What's that? I think that's I better not mess up. That's De La Soul, I think. Hi, my name is Eminem. All of the different greetings. What's up, Stacy? What's up, Kaisha? Peace, Imani. Hi, Joyce. Of course, good morning to Shawnee, Charmaine, Naja, who been up in here. We was in, the VIP. Consider this the after party. This like the blue light party, the red light party. Which one is it? I wasn't here. I wasn't allowed. Uh, good morning, Teresa Scott. Hey, ho, hey, ho. Yes, y'all. We're gonna have a fantastic voyage. Shout out to Coolio with that song. And just go for a ride, a journey, a caravan of love through our hip hop roots and culture. Whichever way you'd like to be greeted or greet someone, please put that in the chat. Let us know you here. What's up?
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together.
Good morning, everyone. I am Sheikia Purple Norris, lyrically known as Purple Haze. Welcome to Wake Up, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Hi, Facebook. Wake up. What classic hip hop movie am I quoting from with Lawrence Fishburne at the end?
School days.
Yes, School Days. That's right. That's right. Today, we will be journeying, having a communal conversation about our roots and culture. And this month, acknowledged as Black History Month, hip hop is a part of our history. And it's one that I am here as a generation gapper rapper to make sure that we embrace, we look at how to navigate, identify and celebrate what works, be real about what doesn't, but embrace and bring love to the roots and the culture that's us. That's a reflection of us as a diaspora offering, born and bred in America. So it's one of those days, y'all. Let me start with my own journey here. Here, meaning how did I get here right now? Well, I was born in the year that hip hop's first record album was released. Now, I said it was going to be a community conversation, right? This is interactive storytelling, even. And so, which year was that? If someone wants to come on mic, you're welcome to. We're gonna test them mics real quick. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What year was the first hip hop album released or a hip hop song released? And if you know the name of the song or the name of the group, that's cool. That's what's up. You can say that. You can put it in the chat or you can come on. Anybody want to come on and play with me right now? All right, Jack. Good morning, Jackie. Yes, the Sugar Hill Gang. Hey, King Aya. Yes, we got some good hip hop debates about what was the first and all of that. What was happening, right? So the year was 1979 that I was born. That's the year that the Sugar Hill Gang song "Rapper's Delight" was released. Um, Shout out to Mr. and Mr. Robinson. And there's an interesting documentary that's on YouTube if you want to watch more about the Sugar Hill Gang and that journey and see what it is for artists to express, release. There's a lot of interesting things in that piece, but we're going to go through. We're going to start again with my story. So 1979 is the year that I was born. I don't think it's any coincidence now that I'm on earth doing what I do. I was the youngest of my mother's 3 children, the only girl child, and she planned on me. She said, I know this one is a girl. I want this one to be a girl, and she's a girl, and I was. And what I was told, the earliest boogie that I was told, and in 79 again, and we'll talk a little bit about the history of what was going on and the area that hip hop is identified as beginning in New York, what was going on in the 70s in New York. But what was going on in 79 in my family was me coming into the world. New York City is where I was born. The Bronx, New York is where I was raised. And my pops tells me, he tells me of a time when I was 2 years old, they were waiting for the bus. And he said, when music would come by, and this would be an ordinary thing, he said, when music played, if a car was pulling up or passing by, I would put my hands in the air and start whining. Just start whining as a 2-year-old. And he said, where does this girl get this from? Right? Roots and culture. Where does this girl get this from? So I call it the boogie. Yes, I'm from the boogie down, but it's the boogie. What vibration was I responding to? And naturally, hands in the air at that, moving my waist, thank goodness, freeing up my chakra at 2 years old, right? I was feeling and I was free. And it was like obviously, and I remember the feeling. I don't remember being too feeling and doing that, but I remember the feeling of freeing up and being almost out of my mind, but really aligned. Like something outside of me connected to what was inside of me and just had me be. I remember as early as 4 years old, and at that time, the early 80s by now, we had graffiti on the train. So I love riding the trains because I could see all of what looked like artwork to me. It looked like puzzles. The first early experiences of abstract art, decoding what the graph writers were writing. What does that word say? I'm just looking and staring, giving me so much to watch and look at besides the people, right? There's also people walking around with boom boxes. So everywhere you go, there's a different beat on the street. There's the fashion and the style and the way people looked. And different boroughs wore their shoelaces or their hats a certain way, right? I'm taking all of this in. And we had something called the cipher, which was pretty incredible. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my early self. I was actually very, very quiet as a child, preferring to look and see than be seen and heard. I remember going to daycare in Midtown Manhattan near my mom's job. And at recess, I preferred to stay with the teacher. And I appreciate that teacher. I think her name is Miss Carmen. I would hold her hand. She would let me be right on her side. And while the other kids would go out, if she needed something, she had to go back to the room for something, I'd be right there on her side, walking, quiet. Then we come back to recess. And I remember looking at the children playing, laughing, smiling, enjoying their laughter and smile. Now, notice I say looking at the children like I wasn't one, right? So who was I? I don't know. But I remember the graduation from that or the moving up ceremony. And that ceremony, I remember it. They had us learn African dancing. And the girls, we had like a skirt on that was kind of shredded material or something. But that's not how we rehearsed most of the time for the dance. And then when it was time for the dance, they asked me to, they asked us to take our shirt off and have just, the girls had on different top than the boys. And I said, no. So I was very quote unquote well behaved as a child. I did what I was told. I ain't start none, ain't want none, right? But honey, you try to tell me to wear my threads a different way that I want to wear it, expose my body. I said no. They said Sheikia, no. And I was a one word child. So that's all I really could say. I couldn't explain, but that didn't feel comfortable for me in my body. So I'm not sure how they got it going on, but we got it going on. And we did our performance. And when I performed, there was a side of me that was revealed to the world. It basically was that 2-year-old who was winding her waist. And I did the African dance with such power, freedom of expression, light, ease, enjoyment. For those Beyonce fans, I was the Beyonce of the graduation routine. And if you can imagine this quiet, shy young person, and when I mean shy, I mean they would just walk me to go to my brother's class. Sometime I just needed an extra help. I just needed a hug from him just to stay and not, get nauseous, just being around kids, right? But then boom, this self, not an alter ego, and I'm saying this on purpose, not an alter ego. This aspect of self was being expressed that was not usually expressed moving throughout the world, and definitely not the way I socialized. So what was happening? Well, what I've come to learn about our roots and culture is movement helps us tap in. Or our authentic selves, once we are awakened, all of us are awakened. And that truly was who I was. But in the world, in the environment, in the society, in the socializing, I was not being that. I was not. So that was a peek, a glimpse into my authentic self. Now, interestingly enough, at the end of that ceremony, I had a circle, adults circling around me and my mother and saying how awesome I was and I was a star and what she got to do with me and all of that. And I'm little, right? So I'm looking up at all these big people around me, terrified again, because now I'm back in my quote unquote self experience. I look to the left, I look to the right, and you know what I see? I see my peers upset. I see their faces disappointed. It's their graduation too. Why was that? Anybody want to guess why my peers, why you imagine my peers might have that face? Well, resentment. Because it was their graduation and I was getting all of the attention. Their parents were focused on me at the end of the graduation. So the early message I got when when I was authentic and being myself, is that I would be resented. And so it became an open, close kind of experience of myself. I did that to me unknowingly. Yep, the quiet girl got attention. All eyes on me. That's right. Shout out to Tupac. Thanks, Jack Jack. Right? And so, yes, bittersweet. And these are some of the things that I made it mean, rather, right, at that age. Right? And so I travel on in the world and I continue to manifest that experience as I aged. And I would open shut that self again. And let me tell you, the involuntary times when I could not help it again was all over the streets of New York when we were doing it in the park, right? Now, which doing it? I'm talking about dancing. I'm talking about the beatbox. I'm talking about the rhymes, right? I'm talking about the cipher. right? Not after dark, Jackie, because I was a kid. I wasn't outside like that. Shout out to Jackie. Jackie's like the hype person. If y'all don't know today, the DJ. She's an extra super special person in my life. So I gotta do a station identification real quick. Jackie is my mom, my stepmom, bonus mom, whatever people call it. And I can tell you this story is also weaved in thread with some Jackie in it. She's an amazing parent to have in your life when it comes to music, authenticity, and having good times. It's showing you how to do it and keep it going to endless, timeless experiences, right? So um, when I would be passing by a cipher, I would feel that feeling again, that feeling that I felt when I was on stage. And then there was experience in dance ciphers when there would be a group. And my father was very encouraging to be free and be an explorer in the world. He literally say, go get lost, right? As an instruction and a narrative. Um, and opportunity to trust self, feel safe in the world, right? Explore, be a child, but be a being, right? And it's natural for us to explore our environment. And I'm appreciative of that as well. Very appreciative that I had that type of guidance in my life. Um, Jackie's putting, see, Jackie, now you're doing too much telling them my little nicknames. That's my family name. But now I wake up everybody, you family. Yep, they call me Muffin. So, um, so interestingly enough, the good thing about being a little kid is you could squeeze in and out of little places, right? And so the cipher, the gathering in a circle, I would be able to weave to the front. And when I was in the front, I would be watching not just the dancers, I would watch their feet. And while I'm watching their feet and I'm so focused and present, I wasn't paying attention to myself. This is a great thing. When we don't focus on us, we focus on everyone, which includes self, right? There's something that happens for us, is what I've learned in the cipher. And so I'm watching, and every cipher, when I was a child, that I remember that was my experience, I would get pulled in, like called in by like a spirit, like spirit to spirit speaking, right? But the way it looked was somebody's dancing, one of the B-boys, B-girls dancing, they notice me and they see me, and they walk up and they do a dance in front of me and extend their hand, right? Because in a cycle, we don't raise our hands like in school to say it's my turn. You are called in, invited in, or you intuitively go in. You hear that? That's a slang term some people that use. So you might hear people say, go in, go in. Yeah, go in. Go into self and go into the cipher. And so they would pull me in. And the beautiful thing about the cipher, and I'm going to find out in a minute if anybody else has cipher experiences. The beautiful thing about the cipher is when you're in the middle, everybody is concentrating on who? Everybody's concentrating on the middle. Moni in the middle. Where's she at in the middle? Hey, shout out to Moni Love, hip hop sister. So in the middle, that cipher, that's not an observation deck. That is a participatory experience in our culture. Everyone in the circle, creating the circle on the outside, we are forming energy. And it makes like the inside a vortex. And everyone being focused on one thing or one place or the same direction is everyone's energy being channeled that way. Which is why I like that IS energy, which is why in the cipher, improvisation happens. It's one of the things that happens involuntarily, subconsciously and consciously. As we align and ground, we are elevated. And those in the cipher, when you are elevated in the middle of the cipher, you elevate the whole cipher. And in hip hop, we see the cipher not only when we're in circle. When you are standing on stage and the audience is there, we are still operating in circumference when we're tapped in and aligned and being our authentic selves. And so we have that exchange happening, and you have that whoever's focused, whoever the center of attention is, the elevator, as I like to responsibly remember, the elevator, right, is kind of like navigating the energy. But fed energy receives energy and then is a sorcerer. Isn't hip hop amazing? So I want to find out a little bit about people's cipher experiences, whether it's walking by seeing a cipher, being in a cipher, or being in a circle making a cipher. Can I have a volunteer come on the mic? Let's see, can somebody let me know? This is deep, right, Teresa? This is deep. This is what we doing today. We got some time, so we gonna really stretch. Thank you all. I see there's a lot going on in the chat, Charmaine.
Yeah, I'll start or continue because I know other folks are sharing. So I have had many cipher experiences over the course of my life, but the ones that stand out the most to me are the ones where speaking is the conduit for the synergistic experience, the exchange. And so I'm in a company where we do improv and we make stuff up, spontaneously. And I'm known in the group for just being able to rattle off spontaneous flow in the form of words. And then we also do it together. The other space that I've been in cipher, and I had not thought about this before, is in the Black church. I've always sung on choirs. In the church that I used to go to, there was a drama and performing arts ministry. So dancing and the drummers would come, and then folks, either one person or several, would get in the middle and, engage in spontaneous dance. And that was just always powerful. But I remember what I got present to was that I was restricted in my body because of trauma. And so I wouldn't be as free as I am with words and movement ciphers. I would be so conscious of what my body is doing and what people are thinking that I wouldn't allow that free flow that you just spoke of. And I'm complete.
Yep. Thank you for saying that, for sharing that. Yes. So, Shawnee, what I would say is what I've observed, and if anyone wants to come on and share, this would be a great time. And I see Aya's going to come on stage in a minute.
It's,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, Ia. I'm sorry, Ia. So, Shawnee, the next phase that I wonder, would you say what breaks one out of that conscious or self-conscious kind of awareness of their body state in the church when people what's called catch the Holy Spirit?
Yes. So I know that space too. At church, and then also, oh, you just made me think of another cipher. When I'm in spaces where there's drumming and chanting being done, I'll get mounted. It's just like this Holy Spirit, where spirit will come in. My ancestors in this space will come in and embody me, and then I'm moving. I have no consciousness. Well, I'm aware, but also gone. It's wild. It's not like some people check out and then they come back later. I'm seeing everything, but I'm not controlling it as much.
Yes.
And then after I go back into like, damn, they saw me do that. Oh my God.
Shawnee, that's it right there. The out of control, right? So now I want to even play with you a little bit, Shawnee, and everybody on Facebook and everybody here in the Zoom room. What is it like to be out of control?
Scary.
Mhm.
Um, Once again, once it's done, uh, when it's happened to me, I feel a little bit of shame. Um, It's like that was weird. And if I'm in mixed company, because I've done that with white folks present. So I just like start getting weirded out because they were present watching me, like that white gaze. Um, Also, just in all fairness, to balance it out, I also feel extremely powerful. So, I'll say it and I want to bring someone else in because I have the privilege of producing the show so I could jump in. But I am seeking more channeling and mediumship opportunities for myself because it's a gift that's in my family. And I've had that since I was a little girl, being able to leave my body or have energy and spirit indwell my body, but because of life circumstances just didn't allow it, and because people think it's weird even though it happens in church all the time, when it's outside of church spaces it's like demonic. um possession and all that other stuff. And it's just sad. But I'm seeking to do that more because I'm missing out on opportunities to support people in their healing when I don't do that. And I'm complete.
Thank you, Shawnee. So one thing I can tell you that we offer in hip hop community, and after EI comes up, I'm going to actually show a slide that, and we're going to break down a little bit more what's happening. Shout out to my teacher, Tony Blackwell, who's really
Yes.
does the wisdom of the cipher. You can get that on TED Talk or YouTube. You got to check out more cipher knowledge and wisdom with Tony Blackman, y'all. She's a giant.
Yeah.
And so, Shawnee, the thoughts, right? So you have an out of body experience, and so now do you see that can you see that when we are in a sense insulated with those with a common cause, purpose, credo, criteria, those of us in hip hop, when we have that circle, that's safe space. Even with the difference is when you come back in hip hop, you feel freed up. Your mind and body aligned in the moment. And so when we come back to, right, we actually had a healing experience. We have a healing experience. So that community, that communal piece right there is just like an African drum circle, right? It's pulling up the vibrations, but it's outing things. It's helping us let go, which is the freedom. And so I'll unpack as we go a little bit of our culture being considered when, hip hop is the voice of the youth. So people say, yo, they're out of control. So I want folks to look at out of control a little differently. Thank you, Shawnee, for coming up and playing with me right there.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? When the mind comes back, some of it is just because of the formation may not be with people who are in accord. We have a non-verbal agreement in hip hop. Anywhere you go around the world, when you're in that cipher, you're taken care of. You don't even speak the same language as people. So this is what happened when the diaspora all poured into the same pool or came from the same fountain. Where in different historically with imperialism and colonization, the church has been used for different purposes in society. And so there's a part of it that obviously is absolutely us in spirit and tapped into what we need. And then a part of it that has been controlled and manipulated. I'm going to risk saying that. But the part that's been so what I believe is that you experience the conflict when you come back to the conflict. And the cipher is an opportunity where you experience fear to freedom. It shares the same line. But then in Shawnee's experience, what she talked about is going back to fear, right? Going back to the state of mind and not freed up from the mind, not anew, not renewed. But there's sometimes, of course, when you have those experiences in church, you're absolutely cool, but it just has that conflict in it. That in the cipher, hip hop doesn't have that conflict. We got a lot of hands up. I better call on people. All right, let's Iya, come through, Iya.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Probably you be having me all pumped up in the morning. I love this. So yeah, when you were talking about the cipher, I was going to also mention my healing circles, the ones that I've been in for myself, and also the ones that I facilitate for others. That is the cipher. That is the like-mindedness, the synergy that feeds off of each other. That's when we are in safe space and unapologetically allowing spirit to move. So someone may get mounted. Someone may, so that middle. I used to always hear, my teacher used to say, if it's in the seat, if it's in the room, it's in you. So no matter what anybody is going, and this is how I lead my circles now, even on this call here, if one of us is going through something, all of us feel that synergy, feel that energy, the vibrations are lifted, and it doesn't have to, one person can be resistant, one person can feel stuck, one person can be holding in a cry. If I, as an empath, feel that, then I can cry and release for that person. And so the power to me of the whole cipher concept is, and you said it, going back to our roots.
Yes.
Because we feel for each other, with each other, and as each other, we get to lift and move everybody up. That's what my cipher experience has always been like my whole entire life, including, the mountain thing. And I can relate to what Shawnee's saying with that, because when I come back, or when I come to, I too am looking like, oh shit, like
it takes a minute. Now, Ia, you hitting on a couple of things. I want to make sure to make sure we get the sweetness of this juice that you're pouring out for us today. You pointing on oneness when you say
there you go.
Whatever, if it's in the room, it's in you. It's in all of us, and there's a recognition, and in that cycle, there's a connecting to that, so that's the peace, love, and unity. When African Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation created the intention in hip hop, peace, love, and unity, it was after his travel to Africa, and he came back. He was in multiple street organizations known as gangs in the 70s. So he was using his power in one direction, went and had knowledge of self, discovery, a whole new introspect, came back and used his power to navigate, collect, and for the good, all for the good, right? And so I want to make sure that we also can invite, or I can use your story, and I'm glad you shared it the way you shared it. So we have oneness, and now I'm gonna invite people to think of something a little bit unusual. When we say it's all good, that's literal. The feelings, the experiences that are undesirable, what if they're all good because they are part of the process? It's all good. There is no feeling that's not okay. There is no garb wearing and action that's not okay, because somehow it's leading to something else you pointed to, is the healing. And we heal backward and forward. So it's collective. So if we got one person that's messy, then it's not on that one person to only take care of that mess. It's on all of us when we living in our collective model and our Afrocentric diasporic roots. It's the village. One person don't have to carry it all of us. It becomes on all of us. So thank you, because again, I pointing out the oneness and collective model. That's from our roots and culture. Yes, in the village. Thank you, Iya. Let's get Teresa Scott. Teresa Scott, I see your hands in the air like you don't care. Oh, yeah.
Good morning. I just want to thank Shawnee for bringing her perspective, because when you are in church and the spirit does take over you, you are in a different place. And when you do come back, be like, well, I'll be like, what the hell was I doing? And so what I remember as a child, always loving to dance. And I still love dance. I don't know if you ever seen the Twiz twins, those twin guys that dance.
Yes, they twins. Yes.
Yes, those twins. Yeah. When I see them dance, I feel like I'm like part of their life, even though I'm watching on YouTube. But it's like the place when I see dance, period, I go to another level. And the thing, what came to me is that my sister just said to me, maybe I need to go back to dancing. And what I have done is that, because of my legs being swollen, I have hindered, my gift of dancing. So I have allowed the swelling to stop, my flow. And I've always wanted to dance. Like, that's always been a thing, like to do a dance that would bring healing. I mean, I see myself dancing, bring healing through the dance. Like when people are doing any kind of dance, to me, there's healing. And even coming on here, there's a healing that takes place, because, we are one, and all of us are like hype. Like I was saying to myself, I was like, Spirit, I need to wake up, because I need to be on this in here in the morning. I know I'm tired, but it's like, I feel like, hey, I'm glad that, the Spirit allowed me to get up on time so I could be here. So, because there's something about us, when we join together, it was like, it takes away everything that we're dealing with when we really just, just check in, because it's like sometimes we come on here, it's like, I don't really want to deal with that. But when you just come in a mind like, you know what, I'm gonna get something every day, then you get something every day. So we got a cipher right here, and woo, that we need to really tap in even more than what we've been tapping in, because it's awesome here.
Thank you. Recognition. Stay here with us for a minute, Teresa, if you will, because you hit on a couple of nuggets. I got like some Post-its, and you literally said some of the things on my Post-it.
Oh, see, that's spirit.
That's divinity, right? That's divinity. Yes. It's so beautiful, y'all. I tell you, I love hip hop. Number one, I also would say I love your hair. You on trend. You on your Grace Jones, your Janelle Monáe. This is, we love that, right? Because in hip hop, that's free. The hairstyles that we see, it's also freeing up. Sometimes it's twisting and turning. I mean, we look like a mandala when we get our braids and stuff sometime in our hair. We got so many, you know what I mean, ancestral tracks with it. And I know when it came to braids, sometimes those are maps from the ancestors, those who were captured people. The braids was also maps, so we got coding, right? So you were right there with the vortex today. So,
and you know what? And it's weird too, because I put like a little bubble back here, and I was like, you're gonna have a different sound when you get up, this morning. But it's like what you said. It's like when you tapped in, and it's like I feel like wearing my hair like this to me now is like freeing me up more than ever. So it's like I'm going into my freedom. It's like forget about trying to get it twisted, trying to get it braided. Like the lady told me yesterday that I was she said I was looking like Yahweh yesterday. And I was like, thank you, sis. I didn't even hear what she said until today when I said it. She was like, you looking like Yahweh today. And I was like, wow, that is so deep for someone even to say that to you. But it's like, we don't even know what we representing when we free ourselves, really.
Right. We don't know what we represent when we free ourselves. That's a quote. So Teresa, I want to offer you something as well, as you have been a generous contributor to us this morning. Number one, I want to say that you definitely said a DMX quote. DMX is a brilliant artist that I want to talk a little bit about in a few minutes. Hip hop is over 45 years old, y'all. So just like anybody here that's been about, on earth that long, it's got a whole lifetime of stories and experiences, right? And you can't really do it in 90 minutes, but if you have access to Netflix, the Hip Hop Evolution will give you some more ins and outs of people telling our own story, our own way. And that's really important, right? So Teresa, you talked about dancing, and that right now there's some limitations you experience to dancing, yet you're feeling and hearing about you dancing. So I want you to look at dance different. And I'm gonna give you a little bit more, right, of the intention that our culture offers. Movement. If I say the word movement, what is that? What's there for you?
I'm ready. That's what I feel like I'm ready.
I think you're going to bomb a time to LL Cool J quote, right? I'm one of them people, you said title, I got a song lyric. So thank you. Right? So dance, the word dance, your relationship with that right now is blocked. And see, we utilize a little bit of a different approach. And I'm somebody that's into a lot of different professional and personal programming that's helped me unblock things. And then I always tell people, then there's this other route. And I got this from Deepak Chopra when I read 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, the law of least effort. So if you see the word dance, you have a block and an aversion to it. If I wasn't on Facebook right now, I'd say F it. Leave that alone. Don't do no work around it either. That's a whole nother thing. Don't do work. Be with what works.
Right.
And being with what works does the work. So that's why I offered you movement. As soon as I said movement, you said what's there. I'm ready. So since you're ready, and I'm hip hop, we leaders of the new school. And we each one teach one, and we follow lead. We take turns, lead from the back, from everybody's a leader in the thing at any time. You dancing in the cypher, all of a sudden it could be on you. You dancing on the conga line, and the conga line switch, the one that was in the back is in the front. Everybody's leading, right? So if you're willing to play a little follow the leader, follow the leader, shout out to the Caribbean community, right? Because hip hop is about movement.
That's true.
It's moving our mind, body, soul, thoughts, and you have to be moved in order to move the crowd.
Yes.
Rakim's song, Move the Crowd. It's not just about physical movement. And in hip hop, we use everything and anything we have to create. Show you what I had a student do, and I mean this. Records. 2020, this pandemic is having people do that at home. People call it DIY or green or maker. There's all these terms for it now. That ain't nothing but make and do. Using what you have. We've been doing that. That's our people's way of sometimes living, sometimes surviving. Definitely being creative.
That's true.
Right? And so when it comes to movement, you use what you have. If you focus on what you don't have or can't do, you tapping out.
Yeah.
So hip hop is an all-inclusive culture. Every age, every socioeconomic status you can have, demographic, don't matter how much money you make, what language you speak, how many arms, fingers, toes you do and don't have. There's a dance crew in hip hop that's they dance, they're all wheelchair. Everybody, because whatever you have to move is what you move. And something you can say, you could even move your thoughts. You can move through imagination. I know we've done those practices where you feel yourself, you evoke a spirit. That's it. And so why when we come back to, and as a performing artist on stage, I have to say, I said the same thing. I go and then I'm coming back just like a church experience. I'm like, woo, they see me naked. That's how I felt. I'm like, oh, I'm naked. I disappeared for a little bit, but it's also why I understand. It's why I understand why they put the robe on James Brown. I came to understand it differently because you're spiritually open.
That's true.
See, they put the robe on, goes off for a little bit, or the artist goes off stage for a minute, take a drink of water, breathe, and then come back. Because when we come to, we gotta take a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So let's do this little movement called Follow the Leader. All right. Now I'm gonna get it started, and this is for everybody, wherever you are, camera on, camera off. Hip hop is a trusting environment, so we trust you taking care of you, doing what you gotta do. You said something about checking, right? So check in, check yourself before you wreck yourself, as Ice Cube said, right? So I'm gonna get up today. I'm able to, and then at some point I'm gonna get down. Because remember, in hip hop we say get down. Right? James Brown's the most sampled person in hip hop. So everything he said somehow along the line we said. Right? And so when we say get down, or like the show on Netflix, the get down, it's because in hip hop we like it near the ground. We grounded. We close to the earth. We play with the elements. Fire, water, air, earth, they matter to us. It's all in there. That's what 5% Nation offered us, and so did the Nation of Islam. Mathematics, astrology, we using Kemet, all of the sciences in hip hop. No, consciously and not consciously. That's how crazy it is. That's how tapped in it is. I'm telling you, it's from the collective diaspora experience, right? So if you get down while you sitting down, you still getting down. That's what. Okay. So I'm gonna start right here, everybody. If you want to turn your screens on, turn your screens on. If you don't, keep them off, but get down, get with it. Anybody walking by, tell them to join us, right? So you could do this to music, or we are the music, right? Ooh, I kind of want the beatboxer to come on. Wait, I kind of want the beatboxer to come on. We got a beatboxer here. I seen it in the chat earlier. Yeah. Yo, A3. Yo, Robin.
What's up?
I'm sorry, I said Robin, my bad, not Robin.
You meant Louise.
Louise, yes, Louise, you know I'm talking about you. What up, Louise? Now I said in the cipher, people can call you in, or you feel pulled in, right? By the spirit. Is your spirit aligned with beatboxing this morning?
Absolutely. You know you got me hype up in here.
Can't plan that. It's a lot of improvising, because we trust the moment. We present. It's all here. We got what we need. So you beatbox, And I'm going to tell us what to do or show us what to do. Because we use silence, sound. Absence of sound is silence, and it works. Like in theater, they call it a dramatic pause. So I can also just do, and you copy me. Hold me accountable as a leader by showing me you paying attention to me. I gotta do something to move in order to move everybody else. Right? I see you, Sister Amala, am I saying it right? Amala? I see you, got the head nod. It's almost like, Elder, permission to begin? Word. I follow your lead. See, in order for me to lead the crowd, we're gonna do this partnership, y'all. I'm not on my own. That's why the MC got the DJ. The DJ got the MC to hype them up. The DJ plays the music, watches the dancers respond to the DJ. The graffiti artists are putting this aerosol spray in the air. Everything is moving together. Beatboxers are also beatboxing. We have no excuse not to make music because we have people who make music with their mouths. Like Louise. Louise, you want to tell me your hip hop name or is that private?
No, that's fine. A3A.
A3A.
All the years I've been listening to hip hop, you brought it out.
Tell them why your name is A3A.
A3A. A for Abana, my African name. 3 because it's my favorite number. And A for authentic. I always want to be true to myself and embrace me and all my unique gifts.
If you didn't know, A3A is in the house. You listen to the joy and the laughter and the collective sharing in the moment. Hip hop transcends. It's like no screens are here, right, y'all? We just having a good time. Chic, Rapper's Delight, same beat. We used it. Come on. On you, Louise. Like this. Want to move like this. Like this. Now put up your black fist. Now go ahead and switch. We just moving like this. Now put them side to side. Open up the side. Hey, oh, hey. Now, wherever you are, now rock. Put your B-girl stance and just rock. Shake your shoulders. Now just shimmy. Shimmy in, shimmy out. Shimmy in, shimmy out. Shimmy in, shimmy out. Stop. Sway. One way, sway. The other way, sway. One way, sway. The other way. Now twist. Now twist. Now twist. Now shake, 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 shake like you in Harlem. Come on, shake, 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 shake like you in Harlem. Stop. Make a face. Yeah.
Woo,
Good times.
That was wonderful.
Good times. Teresa, did we move? Y'all do the Teresa rock. This is not a new dance move on Wake Up Everybody. And it moves your neck. Notice how much energy we got in here. If you're sitting down, I want you to stomp your feet. Stomp, stomp, stomp it out now. Stomp, stomp, stomp it out now. Patch your thighs, patch your thighs, patch your thighs, patch your thighs. Tap your knees, tap your knees, tap your knees, tap your knees. If you can't put your feet on your toes, if you can't have your feet on your toes, if you can't put your weight on your toes, I'm just sitting here sitting with my toes up. That's it. We move. I see a lot of smiles.
It's amazing.
How's your energy? Let's hear how somebody's energy is. Let's give it up for A3A.
Yes. In the house. A3 in the house. Wow, wow, wow.
A3, how was that?
Oh, that was so great. Oh my God, you brought me back to high school. Thank you.
Will you talk about that high school time? It's time to do that right now. Let's go back some more. Let's go back in somebody else's time. Y'all, that was a lot of fun. We moved. Teresa, because of you, we moved out. Thank you. So can you move, Teresa?
Yes.
Right? Don't worry about dancing. Just move right now. Just move. So A3A, talk about high school.
Well, I'm a 71 baby. I moved to this country in 1981 from Guyana. So I moved in the middle of the beginning of the whole hip hop. So when I went to high school in the 80s, there's several rappers that came out of my school. Main Source, and there was like a little known girls group called Finesse and St. Chris. So I mean, I was cool with them, and then I used to beatbox here and there, like Dougie Fresh and the Fat Boys. Marky were like my idol, and I used to be battling guys. I was like the only female beatbox battling guys, because back then you used to battle in beatbox, used to battle and rap, all of that. So I think one of my highlights when we were on the bus going home, there was like the high school special, like the special set aside just for the high school students. And Finesse and St. Chris, well, one of the names was actually Sydney. They were on the bus and they was like, oh, they used to call me Wheezy, you know, from the Jeffersons. So they was like, Wheezy, bust a beat, you know, and then, you know, I bust my beat and then they started rapping and yo, it was just so much fun. And I won my session with Purple. So we actually went through a whole thing where she pulled my story and we did my first rap. Love rap. Been writing down words off the radio since a teenager, you know, press stop and play on the radio and recording onto tape. But that just brought back the joy, you know. So every time I listen to the hip hop, and I love your energy, Purple. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that was my high school stuff. I still channel that joy from it every time I listen to my hip hop songs that I got. Thank you. I'm complete.
Thank you for sharing the story again with the community. And I just want to point out some beautiful gems and jewels from that story that our powerful sister, the sister of soul, our soul sisters, Vanessa and Sequin, shout out to them. That was one of their songs, Sisters of Soul. You got called on and invited by girls. Sisterhood. All of that myth of not girls getting along, boom, there it is. And it brought you joy and still brings you joy. So that was your authentic self, right? And you vibrate using sound and articulation. Beatboxing is so important. If you have young people that stutter or don't speak, I always tell people that's one way to open up the throat chakra, is beatboxing. It starts to wake up and have them practice, because words are really just letters, and letters, they're sounds. So beatboxing is the sound. I want to check in a little bit, because I did say I'm a generation gap of rap, and there's a couple of things I said I would hit on, and some things I'm not going to, I realize now, because we are flowing and flying. We have some things in the chat, but I want to check in with the admin. Is there any questions from Facebook or anything popping in Facebook right now?
I haven't seen any questions, Purple. I've just seen a lot of appreciation for what just happened, a lot of joy, a lot of, that was so much fun in the chat. So people are vibing and flowing with this cipher. So thank you for that. I wanted to also let you know that it's 7:57. So you can let us know how you'd like to, you know, if you want to call on another person. But if we could acknowledge those people that have to leave, we could do that. And then you could let us know which direction you want to go in.
Yes, thank you. Go with the flow. Thank you for that, Jackie, that reminder. So yes, want to thank everybody who has participated in whichever way you have participated in creating our virtual cipher for Wake Up Everybody today. If you need to transition off, this is a time to do that. Please come back on Facebook, post on Facebook, tell somebody about today, and I'm gonna give you a little call to action. This is what we're about to get into, is the generational exchange. So the call to action is there a young person in your life that you would let lead the movement? like we just did. Just ask them to show you a movement or a dance or make a beat and you follow and copy them and y'all do it together. No judgment zone. It's called shared power. That's what we're doing in the cypher. No one is in charge. All of us make it happen. And so young people practicing making choices, even if it's what sound do I say, what way do I move first? And having an adult follow their lead places them in a position of power and shifts what is acknowledged as authority. It's such an affirming thing to let young people lead. And that's where we're about to go into and transition out is where are we when it comes to hip hop? Who we been and how we got here. I see in the chat it's starting to pop off now. Yep, people are talking about experiences where their children have led and they're letting their children lead. So my question to ask people to put this in the chat, what is there for you around young people leading? We have somebody come on, we can have this moment. That's a question for the chat. What is there for you around young people leading? Because we have this narrative that, and I rest in peace to the ancestor Whitney Houston, I believe the children are the future. True. In hip hop is the voice of the youth. So it goes wherever they go. What? That's letting a 14-year-old be in charge? A 9-year-old be in charge?
Yes. So Purple, Sister Zaraya has raised her hand. So Sister, do you want to come off of mute and answer the question?
Yes, please, Sister Zaraya. Thank you for volunteering. And I acknowledge other people volunteered earlier. I did not acknowledge you at that time, but thank you. I think that was Hashepsu, maybe. Thank you for your patience and having grace with me. Sister Zaraya.
Peace and blessings, Purple.
Peace.
Thank you. You're bringing up some good stuff for me, like really good stuff. I'm seeing a lot in myself. I never thought I could learn so much from hip hop. I was never really connected to hip hop, even though I was in school while all of this was going on, and the lunchroom and the beatbox on the table. And I went to Sarah J. Hill, so we had Big Daddy Kane and it was Little Kim, or but I never was around it. I was sort of like on the outskirts of it. But to get to your question, my daughter now, when you speak about leading, my daughter now, like a lot of young people in the community, is rapping, right? So she's doing her hip hop thing. She she throwing her hat in the ring, and I am having a little bit of issues. I'm having some issues around it. Woo, I don't like the content. I'm trying to
take a breath. Everybody,
okay.
Let's take a collective breath right there, because you're not alone. You're not alone. So we're not gonna leave you alone either. Everybody take one breath in, feel that energy, and let it out. Because it's not what we desired. And we're gonna go here. I'm gonna go here. Thank you for trusting us and being vulnerable. This part may be emotional, y'all, because this is our generational healing.
Yeah, so she had made a video and posted it on YouTube, and everyone knew about it except for me. I'd heard rumors, right? But she's 17, but I'd never seen the video. I was waiting to see when she was gonna come to me and say, Ma, this is the video. Because she did, when she went into the studio, when she created the song, and she came back home and she sang it to me, there was no joy in my face. My face was like, well, who told you was a bitch? I never told you was a bitch. Like, what the hell do you know about? Like, I just, even though there was some good parts into it, there was like, I just couldn't stop with that. And I forbade her. I said, you have to go back into the studio and you have to change that. You cannot, put that out anywhere and embarrass me. I was like, you're not, you have them, you have parents. What the hell? It's not like you don't have parents, you have parents and grandparents and little cousins. But anyway, she went ahead and did what she was gonna do, against, how I felt about it. So what I'm trying to do now is take a breath, let her do her thing, and just encourage her and slightly nudge her toward just knowing who she is. That's what I've been trying to do. Just nudge her toward knowing who she is and remind her that she doesn't just represent herself. And also I speak to her about coming out of her box of just listening to the same hip hop. Like I try to encourage her to go old school, listen to some of that, or even listen to some other artists that are not even, hip hop. Like listen to some Eartha Kitt, listen to some, like I just throw in some other stuff and try to encourage her to do that so that I'm not stuck into trying to control her and forbid her from using certain, because I see that that's going to just backlash. It's just going to make her go into the secret place and do it anyway. Then it's going to be more, even
Great acknowledgement. Great acknowledgement, Mom. I hear, first of all, very authentic, very real. You had the knowledge that she was going. You heard what she said. You didn't like it and you was honest. You told us about your reaction. Then you seen her, I'm going to call it a counter reaction, called, I'm still going to do my thing, and you know I'm doing my thing, but I'm going to make this video and not include you in my journey anymore.
Yeah.
And you had a recognition of that, which is not easy, because you could have kept in the battle, right? And you said, you know what? I want to be with her, not against her.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to encourage her. And it's in the relationship, in the communication, where you can offer words of encouragement. Because if y'all go two ships sailing in a different direction, she don't hear you though, because you're not even talking. So there's no opportunity. So you acknowledge preferring to keep the bond, even if it comes with disagreement or no agreement. Can I do a little bit of work? Like earlier we played, right? And I said the law of least effort. So I want to go where I'm led to go with this. And you, I'm sure you're not alone. Matter of fact, if you are a parent, you have a similar story, or auntie, or uncle, like my nephew, my nephew's, and his auntie is purple haze, so I had to learn to love on it, right? And his choices led him to a place that wasn't cool. Little bro, same thing, right? And fortunately, I get to work with elders in hip hop. Some of those greats that you mentioned and others mentioned have been my teachers as well. And I want to big up and tell people about Cool V, DJ Cool V from the Juice Crew, right? Also, Biz Markie's cousin, you might have seen him DJ for Roxanne Shante, Kane was a part of the Juice Crew, MC Shan. Cool V has 2 books out. It's really important. I need to slide and get it. Let me just get it. You know what? I'm gonna bring them all over here. So this book, The Symphony, I recommend it because it's 18 stories about 18 people that made a difference in his life so that Cool V did what he did, is here well, and kept his knowledge of self the whole time. So his guidance, the village, right? So that's one. What I want to talk about, Sister Zariah, is your relationship to hip hop that you mentioned earlier on. You said I wasn't in it, I was on the outskirts. But it was in your environment, so you were in it, in my observation.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And not only were you in it, you were in a school where the giants came from. So y'all was getting schooled the same way, same information, right? Some other observations in your story is, I said historian, that's so interesting. That's my grandma used to say. Like, my grandma must be here. So
Welcome, Grandma.
Hey, yep. She used to always quote Langston Hughes lyrics or poems, and I thought they were hers. I thought she was quoting herself. I didn't know that wasn't her stuff, right? So you pointed out, I lost it that quick. So go back to the school, right? Oh, you was around it, but you wasn't in it. Talk to me
Right.
about what that was like for you.
Oh my goodness, that's a good question. I didn't understand what the hell was going on, really. I don't know why. I think I was so much into like Caribbean music that I just really didn't understand. They'd be beating on the table. I knew they was doing music and it sounded right, but I was so out of it that I remember one time I went to a party. I went to a party and they were playing one of Run DM songs. You know, the one that says, "Why you wear them glasses so I can see?" I didn't even know that was part of the song, and I was dancing with this dude, and I wear glasses. So I thought the DJ had stopped the music to say something about me, and I was so embarrassed. I stopped dancing, you know, because the music does this pause. Why you wear those? And the pause, and I was like, you know, I was like horrified, like I'm dancing with this guy, and stopped picking on me because of my glasses, you know. So that's how out of it I was. I was part of it only because it was in the atmosphere. So of course I'm gonna be bathed in it because it was everywhere, you know. I just didn't really
The thing.
you
It
know,
wasn't your thing.
participate.
Wasn't your thing. Yeah. So you didn't participate, so you thought. Now, when I talked about the cipher this morning, do you see how you still participated because energetically you was in the place to be?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
You didn't realize it. So you weren't consciously giving, therefore you didn't consciously receive.
Okay.
And,
Yes.
and let me show you knowledge of self piece, right? And this is not just you. This is why I do this kind of on the strength for young people too. Did you know that the beginners, the pioneers of hip hop, specifically one, Kool Herc, is from Jamaica?
Yes, yes, I do. Yes.
The way that speakers were built and played, you can look at the 4 founders of hip hop on YouTube. Chuck D did this documentary on, and it shows you about early DJing and how hip hop late 60s, right? And so that Caribbean, right? Hip hop uses everything and anything, especially indigenous and ancient culture practices.
Yes.
Hip hop is diasporic, but we didn't know it. And what sometimes happened in my observation and learning, and I'm studying this now, is the impact of colonization and slavery has us the divide and conquer thing. So African, Caribbean, African American, where we collide, or rather we are not bonding, has us not exchange information. Understand how we all are similar and contributing. So you were not aware that your roots was the same roots and culture that fed hip hop, and that you could pick from the tree and eat. Not that you need to listen to hip hop. I always tell people you like what you like, right? But was there judgments at that time? You also had an experience that wasn't cool, right? That created a guard and a block. Were there judgments that you had?
Okay, let me think about that.
Other people, if you have judgments of hip hop now, judgments, then write them in the chat.
I guess the judgment would be back then it wasn't really so like you didn't hear that the earlier part wasn't so negative. It just was for me, the beat was just so hard and it would just sound so loud, like it just sounded like and it was just so much, and I kind of more like this kind of music, you know.
So it sounds like noise. It sounds like noise. Is that accurate?
But I knew it was instinctively. I knew it was African though. I did know that. I just didn't like it seemed to me when I was coming up, it just was extra hard to me, you know. I was one of those, you know, wear skirts, glasses kind of girl. So when I would hear the music, it was so boom, and it's just everyone was like, you know, this.
What you're pointing out here, and I'm gonna say this for everybody: hip hop does not conform, or tries not, or don't care to conform. Where we were taught to be appropriate and silent and in a box, and hip hop was like boom, boom, out of the box, out of control, loud. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. We were taught to be that way. We were taught with the sound systems of the Caribbean and the toasting and the free movement and the African drum beat and the protests and Black power and Black arts. So generations before always judged their young people's thing. What was the songs of your day, the wardrobe of your day, or the hairstyle of your day that older people judged? Just quick question.
You're muted, Z.
Oh, you're muted, Z.
So you're asking me what type of hairstyles that I wear that people judged?
That the older generation or the hairstyles of your time or the songs of your time. Was there a song you listened to, a song that used to be playing where either you, and I gotta look at my notes. Yeah. It was not okay, and this is for everybody. What song was not okay to play, hear, or repeat?
For me, it was songs that we had a lot of. There were a lot of sexual songs, but they weren't necessarily hip hop. And my father would say it was hip hop, but it was Jamaican hip hop. I'll put it like that.
What song are you willing to say the song now and maybe some?
I can't remember the particular song, but there were songs. Anything that talked about too much was obsessing about pum pum panani, you know, pussy, all that. Anything that was obsessing about that, my father would ask me to have respect for him and not, you know, be blazing and singing, you know, all of that. So that was it. It was only if it was like obsessing about like, no.
That's right. And there's a lot. This is every generation's experience. That the generation before them did not like their expression.
Facts.
So I want to personalize a little bit more, hone in, because you just said something that was maybe the space. Your father was not okay with you repeating lyrics about sex. What's your daughter's lyrics?
There's one lyric about I don't even know, but there's something about hoes. These hoes not as good as me, or some shit like that. And there's something, I don't know exactly what she's saying. I gotta study it, but there's something about
but it's stuff that your
you
father
right in my dick. Some shit. This, you know, just some. I don't even know what the hell she's talking about. I gotta listen to it again.
That's what you tuned out. You like, I can't hear my child talk about this. Right? That's real. Right? The same way your father was like, I can't hear my child talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say something, Purple, if you don't mind. Is it okay? Because I know you're in your own flow.
No, come in. We family, we community.
This is a tough one. Just thinking about, I have a 16-year-old son, and I am so conscious, not always, but these days conscious of how I can't be with where he is and how he speaks. And basically what I'm saying is I can't be with you. And it creates such friction. So when you shared earlier, I don't even know what she's saying, some shit, right? And when I think of you as artist, I think of that coming at you. And I also think of you as the type of artist you are, which is so out of the box, so innovative, so unusual, right? And I can see people saying, I don't know what she's saying, some shit, because they can't be with your expression. They can't be with your level of freedom. They can't be with your, I'm not just like everybody else energy, right? And even though there may be elements of what your daughter is doing that's just like everybody else, because I think that there's a pull for young people, and Purple, you can speak more to this because this is your area of expertise, but there's a pull for young people who are artists to operate in a certain way, which was a pull for artists in the 50s and the 60s and stuff, you know, sing this, be like this. I remember when I was watching a documentary from what's his name from Motown, Lord have mercy, the
Berry Gordy.
Berry Gordy was trying to stop Marvin Gaye from singing What's Going On, because he felt like that was out of the structure or the formula that they had, and that it was going to have pushback. And that's one of the best songs that was made.
Imagine a world without Let's Go.
Yes.
Imagine a world without Marvin Gaye.
Right. So if you said, I haven't studied it. If you actually studied what your daughter's lyrics are, you would have a better handle on what she's trying to say to you, not just the world. You know, you have an opportunity to actually engage her in conversation that can take y'all's relationship to the next level, rather than you like, oh, I heard bitch, and so I'm shut off, shut down. Because once again, you being an innovator in artistry, outside of the box, And I don't know if you consider yourself if you do clown work or if it's another language that you use. But I'm like, chick, it's unheard of. Like a grown person, like what the fuck? Because my mother was a professional clown too. She studied that and was doing that. People, there's so much judgment around that. Hearing the word clown is automatic, like shut down. But clowns bring joy, right? The jester, the clown,
Just like comedians.
right?
They get to say the stuff that they get to play with life.
Yes.
Say stuff obnoxiously, like the gesture.
Right.
They get to say the things we want to say and don't.
Exactly.
What we think. They're bold.
Yes.
And we see them as beautiful. Because your daughter represents a different thing. Shawnee, I'm sorry, can I tag team here? Your daughter represents something in womanhood that generations before her didn't get.
Yes.
So
That freedom.
There's no model for what they're working out.
I don't know, because I think
I'm not saying
the model,
because I'm gonna tell you the programming of why that all is also being used, right? And I'm gonna say it here. I know we on Facebook. The music industry is not owned by people that look like us or the diaspora.
right, that's right. That's what I've been trying to tell her, that there's somebody who's making her think that this is what everyone wants to hear. I've been trying to express that to her, and I do want to study her lyrics. I just didn't have access to study it because she hid it from me after the first time she shared it, and I was like, and then after that I couldn't get access, but I have access now.
That's where you want to restore. You see that moment she shared it and you did that. The judgment,
yes,
the rejection she felt from her mother sister.
Yes.
Right? She has that rejection experience out in the world, potentially. Right? There's life with that. She want home to be her home base. She could come to and from and still be loved no matter what. So when you say, I can't be with that, sometimes an artist might feel like, I can't be with you. With children, when we can't hear their music, whether they're makers or listeners, I can't be with you and your expression. I can't be with that part of you that was purple, yet old wine and waste, right? If I was from a different family, I'd got my butt beat. I can't be with your exploration of freedom.
Ooh, okay, now purple.
Exploring. They are supposed to. What did I say? I'm glad I had a parent that encouraged me to get lost. How do you get found? By getting lost. Her knowledge of self journey can't be from outside of herself.
Thank you.
Something has her turn within. Now I'm gonna give you another task, parents, aunties, uncles, me too. I'm talking to myself, y'all. Do you trust your parenting? Then trust it. You gave her all you could. Thank her for receiving it and tell her who you want to be as she explores. Make a promise. Talk to your dad. I would even say write a letter to your dad about you just wanted to listen to music. You ain't forget what you knew. You ain't forget who you were when you listening to music. Then write a letter to your daughter. And if you're willing, I would say have her read both of them. Exchange, take her lyrics and give her your letters, and y'all sit and read and talk. Don't study her lyrics. Learn her story. Learn how she's hearing it and navigating the world. There's so many messages in their music, y'all. I was up for 3 hours last night listening to this stuff that I want to call junk. There's an artist, 6ix9ine. I see that they use our children like tools, but that ain't new. As Shawnee said, go check out 1940s. This is a historic thing of what's done with our offerings. But if we don't love what comes from us, it's not loving ourselves. We can't give it away because it's not packaged in the boxes that we were taught to be in. We have to love ourselves, love our expression, love our journey through trying to navigate a system that is sickening. They use anything and everything to make us sick.
Yes.
And so if we have to be wild, because I do say hip hop is the lyrics from blues, telling our low vibration stories, the shout from gospel,
Yes.
call and response of slaves and Negroes, the coding to get through a labor that I'll never know anything about. Coding, code language. These kids' lyrics are in codes. It is the improvisation and the scatting and the making up things and the spirit needing to say something, but it can't even come out in this language of English because it's too limiting, of jazz. It is the color and the vibration of funk. It is the fly, the freedom, and the sway of disco. Hip hop is buck buck, because those were the bullet sounds that people heard in the community. Right? It is winding your waist because that actually moves the energy in your sacral chakra, which is from creativity. So what's called gyrating and twerking, there's some healing in that. Because when we stiffen that area of our body, we block the flow. And sexuality and creativity come from the same place. So that thing is crying out from living in a world that's not safe, and from our generations before us not loving and embracing us. Hip hop is the explosion. It is the volcano erupting of Black culture 500 years before it, saying no, 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 no more. Because those kids in the 70s was watching their parents come back, their fathers come back from war, addicted, taking out the home in order to get a welfare check, systematic, pimps and hoe culture, which whores, if you study what courtesan women are, that is a historic thing from the past where women use what they got to get what they want, and that was in the song. Put it in the chat if you know the title of that song. So women, because they were objects, the only way they would be able to take care of themselves was either a man chose them, all right? Roots and culture of pimp and hoe. A man chose them, and then they could make sure they eat, and whoever that woman was had to take that little bit she got and go give it to her sisters and mothers. Right? So you're presented to a man back in the day, and now we got all of these shows, and I love them, I watch them, whether it's Game of Thrones or Bridgerton and all that, they showing you those times. Fix yourself up, lady, look and be like this and get presented to a bunch of men for survival purposes. And take whatever you could get and feed us. That labor fell on women. And so the women that didn't get picked used what they got to get what they need. And then later it became get what you want. So this system of objectifying women is not one we created. That's what I'm saying. It's one we're surviving through. It's painful. So if somebody gyrate and twerk, they moving that energy, they moving that energy. It's all context. Now, how do you do it and be safe? People ain't safe when they're walking down the street, if that's how they relate to the world. So the dance is making them more of an object. Don't put that on our women and girls. I work with women and girls. They say that all of the time. The men that are going after, or the older people that are going after them, are the ones to speak to. But it's easier to correct our children because of our position of authority than it is to talk to our peers, our parents, our siblings, our neighbors, and say, don't treat and talk to young people like that. It's an expression of the environment, is what I'm saying about hip hop. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying, look at the roots of this thing. It is trying to navigate a system that is trying to kill you. That's what is being used. And we have something, y'all, we got a gem. Because you know what? It lasted over 40-something years and it's around the world. It works for all. Adam, what up, Adam? I'm gonna pause right there. Y'all, wait, let's take a community breath. Actually, make a sound on the way out. Scream, yell, shout. Ah! Let it out. Don't keep that energy in. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here. DMX is one of the, DMX should have a class. We should be studying DMX in school. God was homeless, raised by a pack of dogs. That's where his bark comes from. I met X, I talked to him. Beautiful brother. Anybody that's considered crazy, like Mozart and DMX and Lauryn Hill and all them, they ain't crazy. They out of the box and tapped into something else. Or they can't do this system no more like this. Or they impacted by the system and found a way to resolve the best they can. And it's not on them to do it by themselves. Whether it's a young person getting her butt inflamed, or a boy putting all this on his head and acting like this and showing this. Now, another part of it, I must say in defense, is they know they from royalty. So all that chains, rope chains, it's one thing to be chained and it's another thing to put it on yourself. But if you really look at those chains and then go back and look at ancient kings and queens, that's just adornment.
Yes.
Adornment. We know we royalty. Trying to figure it out one way or another, let everybody else know. Yes, it's the tricks and tools of the masters, and the masters' tools can be used to free us. Shout out to Audrey Law, her birthday was just this week. But it's another thing to be chained and then to put your own chains on and show people your royalty and your riches, even though you broke your shit. They lying. Adam. What up, Adam? And y'all,
What up?
It's just 8:29. If we can go over a few more minutes, but if you do need to transition again, please watch the rest and come back to Wake Up Everybody as well. But I do want to acknowledge time right now before we get into this, Adam. Thank you for your patience, Adam. I know you've been here for a minute. It's important to hear from the brother.
You're welcome.
Okay.
What up, DJ Purple? I just want to say that I'm really glad that we're having this conversation about the generational gap that's happened between the old and the younger generation. And I believe where the older generation have failed the younger generation is when they listen to a certain music, for example, like the Yin Yang Twins. Some of the older generation, whether you listen to Yin Yang Twins and become very reactive to it and start, downgrading it instead of, trying to listen to it and navigate through the message. While the younger generation will see it a lot differently.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is that I believe the older generation, by continue to react to these kind of songs, all you're doing is playing to the culture that's really killing you every day.
Adam, say that thing. It's another tool for divide and conquer to separate us from our children. Because back in slavery times, if the children were out roaming, they might get taken. We still coming from fear.
And that's how the West Coast, East Coast beef was created as well too. Because when NWA came out, some of the people on the East Coast didn't like it. And it didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Where this generation has a different experience. Everything plays at the party. They got Afrobeat, Caribbean, rap, low vibe, gamer music. Everything and anything goes. White, black, one-legged, short hair, long hair, natural. They ain't doing what we did. You better want to be invited to their party to see how to live as a collective. Yo, Pop Smoke, Adam. You know what Pop Smoke is?
Yeah.
Yo, anybody ever realized last year, and I asked some young people this, the Black Lives Matter. I said, yo, what's the music of the movement? Because every protest or a collective movement has some music, right? And the music in the 60s, it had lyrics to go with your movement. But Black Lives Matter last year, I was like, yo, what they going? I know we got Kendrick Lamar. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar, the first rap artist to win a Pulitzer Prize. But Kendrick Lamar got We Gonna Be All Right, which is great for the collective, right? And what you say, Yin Yang Twins, there's a light in the dark to all of us as people. So there's a light in the dark to our lives and a light in the dark to our music. I love that you say Yin Yang. The elders might just need to ask, the young people might just need to ask, yo, what was the song you listened to that your people didn't like? How I asked Sister Zariah earlier, right? Like, what's the song in your day that you didn't like? And see the connection, just remind them of that time. But yo, the thing about Pop Smoke is Black Lives Matter, they use Welcome to the Party as their generational protest music last year. And it wasn't because of the lyrics. Where usually protest music is either the music provokes the movement or the movement inspires the music. It didn't happen like that. They grabbed what they had, hip hop, what was in access, and it's the vibe. Because Pop Smoke is this guy, shout rest in peace to Pop Smoke and all those others that were passed. We had, I think it's 77 rappers were murdered in 30 years. And cases unresolved. Don't know who killed people. These still our children. This our community. Somebody kill them and nobody know who, including Biggie Smalls. This is what's happening in our community, right? This is what's happening. So look, so they use Welcome to the Party. What party they talking about? What party they creating? If we disconnect, we'll never find out. I want to know what's going on in these Zoom rooms. I ain't saying be their friends. I'm saying be family. Be a part of the village. Be in the community. So Welcome to the Party got a certain sway to it. Like the ancestors did. They had to have a certain rhythm to keep working. So Welcome to the Party wasn't about the lyrics. And I don't think a lot of this music of the day is about the lyrics. The lyrics are ridiculous. They crazy. You can tell. I'm like, y'all didn't learn English. That's the education system. Then if you ain't got enough words to express yourself. And that's the limitation of English, in my opinion. But they're using the rhythm and the movement. And they are talking about it, y'all, because there's a lot of artists that are dying of overdose. And they said this is one of the times when you're hearing more Black men talk about mental health than ever. Because the kids are talking about it in their lyrics. They're talking about it. Kid Cudi was one of the first ones that I got onto because that was one of my sister's favorite rappers. I said, yo, who listen shit? Kid Cudi. I started listening. I said, ooh, he sound depressed. That low vibration stuff. But maybe I need to take care of myself first before I listen. Because as an empath or an energetic person, when I walk in the world, I just ain't open. So what do I need to do in order to listen? And that's what Cool V helped me learn. He says it to me all the time. Purple is keep the relationship with our young people. Thank you, Adam. Thank you. So keep the relationship.
You're welcome.
And then it's a generational exchange. But we can't exchange if we are disconnected. And the disconnect is because those who want us to not be connected to ourselves, because knowledge of self is our power. And hip hop, at the end of the day, in the beginning of the day, was always about knowledge of self being expressed through lyrics. Rappers are griots, by the way. Movement is dance. Knowledge of self expressed through movement. Knowledge of self expressed through manipulation of tools and technology, AKA DJing and music production. Having the power to press buttons, turn things up and on. Control your community simply by amplifying. That's the DJ. That's moving the masses with music, with frequency. With frequency. I'm not saying everything in it. Again, I said today, I will show you what works about it. So that's what I'm talking about, what works about it. It's very easy and obvious to see what doesn't. But don't believe the hype, as Flavor Flav says. Don't stay on the surface. Get beneath. Get to the root. And that's why this is called Roots and Culture. What's underneath? Because that's where we get grounded. It's what's underground. And by the way, hip hop, we got an underground. Always with it. It's like an underground railroad. So that's where it gets formulated and developed. And trust, they in cipher. They in exchange. They did not create the world that they're living in. We landed on them. Adults. So my call to action is to check in with yourself, find out your bias. Be honest with yourself about your bias. As we had several people demonstrate, thank you, sisters. Then get to the root of that. Where did someone do that to you? And then honestly, see what it's doing to you, because it's living in you. That anger, that hurt from being disconnected to young people. So that'll do something. So you got to check yourself first before you wreck yourself, as the song said. Then don't go to them in authority, because hip hop is shared power practices. After you notice, you do a station identification and you see your shit, I dare you to restore with a young person. I dare you to tell them the truth about what you thought and did. I do it all the time with them. I actually apologize for the world being the way we handed it to them. We know what crack did in our community. I'm gonna say something that's not cool, all right? I want people to take a lot of breaths and drink water as soon as this call is over. What did you think was gonna happen to the crack baby's crack baby? That's why I say get to the root of that thing. If it's true that this chemical impacts the body various ways, if people were really born addicted or just impacted by the environment and the trauma, generational trauma, what did we think? How did we think those children were going to express themselves? Anybody want to come on the mic? If we got another minute, Shawnee, should we pause here?
Yes. I'll say a little something about this, and definitely everyone feel free to share in the chat. In the 90s, I worked at a child welfare agency supporting families with getting their children back. And many of the families during that season is still the same, Black and brown folks. Very specific communities where children were taken from parents. Like it's beyond an epidemic. It was like a genocide for our people. And one of my areas of expertise, that's what the world says, is chemical dependency, and watching the mothers, mostly, some of the fathers, and the children, and during that time, it devastates me now. It was like traumatic just being in it all the time. And in my own family, my community, I grew up in St. Albans, was decimated by the crack epidemic. It's never been restored as a community. And so I hadn't thought about this in a while, but those babies have had babies, and the impact, the ripple effect, like they got the job done, whether it was intentional or unintentional. I tend to lean towards intentional. Um, they got the job done. Like the impact on mental states, spiritual states, the wounds, like that generational trauma has been passed down. So the muting out of emotion or the amplification of certain emotions that don't serve, the level of labeling and um, I mean, it's so overwhelming to even declare and share, but we're still being impacted by the crack epidemic. It impacted multiple generations. So, and we get to choose how we negotiate that space. And, the way I think is that darkness, um, is a conduit for the light. There's lessons in all of it. And so we get to choose what we focus on. We can say, oh, we're done and we're in dire straits, but I feel like an awakening is happening on a major level, and we can use that new light to transform it all. And there's something about having kids who are no holds barred, like unapologetically just expressing themselves. That's part of the revolution.
Wow. They don't give a fuck in ways I think we want to.
Exactly.
The way we wish we could. They don't care.
Absolutely.
And yet they're human, so they have to care.
Right. So, I see the workability in it all, and I see the unworkability in it all. But it's good to be able to see, right, the yin and yang, the dark and the light of it. And it's on us to do something.
Thank you for that. I needed some masterful help and assistance in closing me out. I want to make sure I also ask the community to drink a lot of water. Play your favorite song and move to that thing. If you have a young person in your house, ask them to dance with you. Let them push you in ways of, oh, no, wow. But the other way you could balance out the dark is by just enjoying the light. You don't even have to talk about the music with them. Play music. Play music. Change the vibration. Y'all could do a Radio Raheem. They play a song, you play a song. They play a song, you play a song. Find the same song, beat rather, because there's so many hip hop songs that are sampled that nine times out of 10 what they listen to is a sample. So they play, and they got this on TikTok. They play their version, you play their version, you play the version. Or maybe it's the same song title. Or maybe it's about the same topic. The exchange can be fun. Because you did a lot of teaching. We've done a lot of teaching and talking. Press play. Press play. All right. So can I get everybody mics on real quick? We're going to close this out.
Nice ending. Love it.
When I say yes, yes, y'all say yes, yes, y'all. Because hip hop is an affirmative community secret. That's why we can't be killed. Remember, we don't think that's around like the roaches. Like, we can't die, y'all. They can't do it. All right? The slave ships, that's a different conversation. But they really did set it up to try to have children separated from adults and fathers and all of that. Just don't let them win. All right? Yes, yes, y'all.
Yes, yes, y'all.
Yes, y'all.
Yes, y'all.
Stop.
Hip
hop. You from
hip hop.
I didn't give him proper instruction. That's perfect. And it made us laugh because in hip hop, there's no mistakes allowed, which means there's no such thing as a mistake. Everything can be used to create.
That's right. Ha 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 ha. Check out this bizarre.
Love you, y'all. Yes, yes, y'all. Yes, yes, y'all. We are family. I got all my sisters, brothers,
with me,
nanas, grandpas, pops, nieces, nephews, cousins, fake cousins, and me. Can we do a big cipher hug? If you're able to open up both arms, if you're not, just close your eyes and receive what we give you. Everybody, and go, ooh-ha!
Whoa-ha.
Got to all the chat.
Big hugs. I feel it.
Thank you, Purple. I feel the love.
Thank you, Purple. That was wonderful. That was a trip through history. Oh my God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. That is beautiful. You did a great job, Miss Norris.
Yes. Pass the plate for Purple. Come on now. Pass the offering plate.
I'm gonna have to go slap your father for that one.
DJ Purple.
I need my daughter to take the slash, Purple. I need when you doing the young people thing, so I can get my daughter on.
Thank you. Love
So
you.
she can do some of this healing.
Always a lesson.
Man, I get so clap. Come on, Shawnee, I gotta turn my mic off. I gotta cut it out, man.
That was so deep.
Don't turn it off, Purple. Share with the community how they can be in touch with you after this session, please.
Yes, yes, y'all. So the best way to reach me nowadays, if I'm not on Wake Up Everybody, right? At Full Perp People, which is on Instagram. Sheikia Norris at Gmail. And I forgot to say my Facebook is also an option now. I unplug quite often when it comes to social media, and then I plug back in and see where to begin. So Sheikia Norris is also my Facebook. If you want to follow me on Facebook, family, I appreciate being in touch and staying in reach.
So deep.
All right, it's receiving time. Dude, I'm gonna do this part. So I love offering donation and my practice of receiving. Thank you for Wake Up Everybody for making space. Zelle and Quick Pay. Soul Leadership Development at gmail.com or Cash App $Spirit of a Woman. My favorite way to tithe, by the way. Code number 266 SPN. Again, 266 SPN. For any donations, I receive vibrations and donations for today. And thank you in advance. Thank you. Yes,
and I just feel like I should also add that here in the Wake Up Everybody community, we believe in the law of reciprocity. And I think we can all agree that we have received so much today. And so these are the ways that you can share your own natural energy yield, which is the acronym for money that we use here. Money is my own natural energy yield. So we invite you to share with Purple, share your energy, share your love, share your light, share your money with Purple. These are the ways that you can do so. And as she has so lovingly and freely given this morning, we invite you to do the same. You can screenshot this. It's also been dropped in the chats. So govern yourselves accordingly, as they say in the church.
As Stacey said, make it rain. Make it rain. Yes, I chose not to be a dancer in that form. I chose to be a rapper instead. It's okay. It's okay.
So coming up tomorrow is Monday, and it is our 30-minute session. We are going to be here with Kadeem Alston Roman, and he is going to be talking with us about Beyonce Sip and Dip Morning Edition. So that sounds really, really juicy. I will be here. I hope that the rest of you will join as well. Register and invite people to join with us so that we can create another wonderful experience like we had today and like we've been having for the last 260 plus days. And then on Wednesday, our beloved Shawnee will be with us, and we will be discussing blood in, blood out, letting the sacred flow. So again, I invite you to come back, register, be in the space, and bring your family and friends. Don't be stingy, like Shawnee says.
Let me jump in and say it says Wednesday, but it's Tuesday.
Okay.
So we just have to correct that for tomorrow. Just putting that out there and reminding the community, you may not be aware, but this week is about the blood. Like this is still Black History Month, and every month, every day is Black History Day. But this month, we declared this week to be the week about the blood, and Purple better than the way he brings it. Kadeem will bring it. You know, he's gonna get our blood moving tomorrow with Beyonce as the cover. And then I'll be talking about literal blood in the form of our menstrual flow. So, brothers, sisters, everybody is welcome to that conversation because we all got here because of cycles being on and off. So, you know, just wanting to make sure you know that that's Tuesday. And I'm complete. Thank you.
Thank you, Shawnee. As a reminder, our schedule is Sunday through Thursdays. We are in full session or 90-minute session on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursdays. And then on Monday and Wednesday, we have our 30-minute session. So please do come back, join us here in the Zoom space, join us on Facebook. We stream live on Facebook. So if you can't get into the room, you can watch on Facebook. Join us. And again, invite your friends and family. You know, let's grow the community and expand the consciousness that we are raising here. Here are ways to stay in touch. There is an error on the slide that I did not correct, so my apologies. To register, it is bit.ly/wakeupmovements. Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube are also ways to stay in touch. You can screenshot this page and it will be dropped in the chat, so you can grab it from there as well. And then if you have suggestions or comments, or you want to get in touch with the Wake Up Everybody community, the administrators, the producers, there is an email address, info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. We invite you to share your reflections, share your comments. If you have suggestions, we want to hear from you as well. So please utilize any one of those forms to communicate and stay in touch with us. So now it is time to share our love in this space, share the loving energy that we have with our facilitator, with Purple. So Purple, I will remove the spotlight so that we can all be in gallery view, and I invite you all to unmute yourselves.
Before we do that, one sec. Anybody in the space that is here, and this also includes Facebook, for the very first time, did you do that and I missed that?
I did put it in the chat, but we did not say it in the space. So please.
All right. I was like, maybe I missed it because I'm writing stuff down over here from my notes. But just want to acknowledge the community and its expansion. And once again, everybody who's in this community who have been contributing day after day, morning after morning, inviting you not to, like you just said, be stingy or to forget to invite folks to join us. We are always looking for new energy, new light. Like thinking about what Purple just brought today, I'm like, I want some more young people in this space. I want more folks in this space that need this message and need to know how dope we are as a community, the Woo Nation, as we call it, and then also as a community, because it's majority community members of color here. Not that we don't invite others in the space, it's just how it's unfolded, and it's all good, and it's all part of our journey. So just reminding y'all to tell more people about this process. And March is going to be our celebration of the anniversary of Wake Up Everybody. We are approaching a year. So we want everybody who we can invite to the party. Purple talked about, it's like, yo, invite them to the party because we're going to be partying all month long, and especially on our absolute anniversary date, which is March 29th. That's a Monday, but we're gonna be partying. It ain't gonna be no 30-minute session, just know that. But just wanted to say that, and welcome to anyone on Facebook who's new. Keep coming back. No hit it and quit it. It's like this is a lifetime relationship. Thank you, Nigel.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we can move to our love shower. I invite everyone to unmute themselves and let's just pour some love.
We love you, Purple. Thank you, boo.
Thank you,
Love you too. All right, girl.
Thank you for all the knowledge you drop on the
Friday.
mic. Love you.
Rhythm Nation, Rhythm Nation.
Let's move forward, everybody.
All right, Adam. Heard. Go ahead, Sister Soraya.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Thank
you. Thank you for being who you are, Mrs. Miss Norris.
That was so good.
I miss it.
Thank you, Purple. You did your job. You bridged the generation gap. I appreciate you.
Different way.
Amazing,
Thank you,
amazing.
Love you, love you, love you. Much peace, love, and
abundance.
abundance.
Fire and
Manifesting.
and your spontaneity.
It's your year, Purple.
My
You
daughter,
already know. You already know. I feel like you in my living room with me.
Appreciate you.
We're gonna have dinner over soon. Yeah.